Welcome back, Nerd Squad. You are still flying those She-Hulk flags high, and so we have returned to bring you another list revolving around She-Hulk scary facts. That's right, this is part 4. So bear with me as I try my darndest to prove to you that these are mostly scary facts, but also get ready to just learn and celebrate even more about Jennifer Walters' She-Hulk. Yay! Can you ever have too many She-Hulk facts? We certainly don't think so. I hope you all agree. Are there other new MCU characters that you are excited to meet? What else would you like to know more about when it comes to She-Hulk and the Hulk family? Who do you love more, Hulk or She-Hulk? Let us know in the comments below. Alright, let's get counting. Number 10. Stan Lee created her. Okay, admittedly this is not a very scary one, but it's pretty scary to think that Stan Lee is dead, and that he sort of lives on in a ghostly way through his creations like She-Hulk. She-Hulk was created by Stan Lee and John Buscema and appeared for the first time not even in Hulk series but in her own, Savage She-Hulk issue number 1 in the 1980s. And if you're a She-Hulk fan who is dealing with the misinformed outrage of some fellow nerds surrounding her being a Hulk ripoff or a gender-swapped Hulk in regards to her Disney Plus show, feel free to toss some of that knowledge back at them. Jennifer, I am sure, would appreciate you fighting ignorance with knowledge. She's an original Marvel comic book character, yeah, from the 80s. Beyond that, she was also one of the last characters Stan Lee would have a hand in creating for about a decade, making her just a little more meaningful too, I think. In fact, that law firm that she works at is a reference to some of the Marvel legends, like Lee, whose original last name appears in the law firm's lineup. Lieber. Stan Lee's given name was actually Stanley Martin Lieber. Number 9. The gym isn't optional. You know how many of us decide to work out? Maybe we want to look fitter, or we want to lose weight, or just feel more healthy and capable. We choose to play soccer, dance, go for a run, hit the gym. We seek out the exercise. For She-Hulk, this isn't an option. The gym is a must. Why? Because that is actually how she gets stronger. When She-Hulk appeared in the comics, she was not that strong compared to her cousin, and a big part of where her strength comes from is in getting fit. In fact, Reed Richards helped her increase her strength when he devised an exercise regimen for her. So you notice as time goes on in the comics, she has become stronger. Granted, an increase in her gamma radiation stores has also been a huge part of that lately, but before that it was mostly just due to exercise. Where Hulk gets mad, She-Hulk just gets fit. And maybe the gym isn't scary to you, but being forced to go to the gym every day, it's not that scary to me either, actually. Number 8. That time She-Hulk became the thing. So you might be thinking, when did this transformation happen? She-Hulk became mutated like the Thing and turned into like a rock monster? Are you talking about Grey She-Hulk or the newer, just grittier, more buff version of her, Amanda? No, I'm talking about when She-Hulk joined the Fantastic Four. So yeah, granted, she didn't turn into the Thing. That's right. She-Hulk joined the Fantastic Four after the events of Secret Wars. She joined them after Ben Grimm realized that on Battleworld he could shift between his human form and his rock form that he had been forced to live in since that fateful trip to space where he was exposed to cosmic rays. Grimm was understandably intrigued by this and took some time away from the team to enjoy it for a bit longer, choosing to stay on Battleworld. Needing a replacement member, they looked to She-Hulk. What do you do when your most physically strong member takes a leave of absence? Replace them with another set of guns. And She-Hulk is next level strong. She was actually on the Avengers team and the Fantastic Four team at the same time as well. Wow, pretty impressive. Number 7. She quit the Living Tribunal. For those that don't know, Jennifer Walters is an amazing lawyer. So amazing in fact that she was appointed Magistra for the Living Tribunal. The Living Tribunal is a cosmic entity that is as old as the universe itself. It stands to maintain balance between good and evil and often acts as a representative for law and balance. Jennifer was called upon by the Living Tribunal to defend her universe in a case against Marvel's Ultimate Universe. As the Living Tribunal was thinking of replacing the main continuity of Marvel, Earth 616, with the Ultimate Verse Earth 1610. While she actually won the case, we find out that after Walters decided to step down from her role as a cosmic lawyer, which is kind of weird as once the Living Tribunal selects you as one of its magistrates, you kind of just have to keep doing it. It's not really a thing that you can quit. So I guess we'll just have to continue to wait and see how permanent the Living Tribunal will let that be, though it has been, I think, since around 2005, so I think she's probably fine. I guess you can quit. Number 6. Awesome Andy. If you are solely familiar with this quirky character, who works for Goodman, Lieber, Kurtzberg, and Holloway, the law firm where Jennifer Walters also works, through the She-Hulk series, then you may be wondering why I included him. Awesome Andy admittedly is not scary. You were right. But he used to be, back when he was known as the Awesome Android, a device brought to life after the Mad Thinker got a hold of Reed Richards' design for the droid. After being brought to life, the Mad Thinker used him in all kinds of villainous schemes, though he also abandoned him a few times. Eventually he made some modifications to the android that allowed him to adopt not just the powers of other heroes, but their traits as well. After taking on the trait of nobility while fighting with Thor, the android developed independent thought. This resulted in him defecting, helping Thor to defeat the Mad Thinker, and later agreeing to work for GLK&H. After they defended him and he realized he didn't have any money. Number 5. Defended Starfox. Again. After defending Eros on Earth 616 in a giant case revolving around the use of his pheromone powers and potential sexual assault, Jennifer becomes suspicious that he may have used his powers on her, which seems to change her opinion on him. He then is zapped from Earth back to Titan, and it is the way that this trial ends that later leads to him having a trial on Titan revolving around similar things, but on a more of a cosmic scale. Later in Volume 2 of the She-Hulk series, she is called upon to observe the Living Tribunal's trial, where they plan to sort of let Starfox off. Obviously she is enraged about this, considering her concerns surrounding whether or not Starfox influenced her love of him and influenced her sleeping with him. But she has no choice but to go. She discovers that Eros did not manipulate her into sleeping with him, but did manipulate both her and her now husband John Jameson, aka Manwolf, into loving one another. However, after Thanos appears implying that Eros made him fall in love with death and thereby caused all of the destruction that he has wrought, she is forced to defend Starfox against him. She just keeps getting caught up in all these Starfox trials. Ugh. Scary. I wouldn't want to defend him personally. Number 4. Cancelled TV show. While we know that She-Hulk had a film that never came to pass, did you know that she also could have had a TV show? More specifically, a role in a TV show. In the 90s, following the made-for-TV film The Death of the Incredible Hulk, there was talks of having a continuation of the series. You might be thinking, didn't the Hulk die though? So like, how could that be possible? They wanted to continue where the film left off, with the premise that David Banner, the TV show's alternate to comic book Hulk, Bruce Banner, had faked his death, and while lying low in the Bahamas would run into Jennifer Walters. Walters would not have been his cousin in the series, and the two would flirt and build a little bit of a bond. In the series, Gabrielle Reese was slated to play She-Hulk, while Mitzi Capture was set to play Jennifer Walters. Jen would become She-Hulk in a similar way. A businessman who she is trying to prove is behind the death of her parents would take out a hit on her, and Banner's doctor friend in the Bahamas would convince him to perform an emergency blood transfusion in order to save her life. Unfortunately, the series was cancelled after execs were unhappy with Capture starring as Jennifer, and unable to find a bigger name to suit their expectations. Ooh, spooky. Cancelled TV shows. Hopefully her Disney Plus show does not get cancelled. Number 3. Killed her own writer. We all know that She-Hulk loves to break the fourth wall, and has been doing it even before Deadpool made it cool. You may also be aware of the fact that this was often used to show her feuding with her writers about how she was depicted and all of the ridiculous things that they would try to get her to do, like jumping rope naked. But did you know at one point she broke the fourth wall? At the end of his last issue of the sensational She-Hulk, he decided to end it all with She-Hulk being so indifferent towards his work that she just tosses him out of a skyscraper window and he falls to his death with a sploit on the sidewalk. Ugh. She-Hulk goes on to say death sells, and that she hopes the death of a superego should help her to sell as many comics as the death of a Superman. Ruthless, Jen, ruthless. Number 2. Tony Stark stole her powers. Yeah, this storyline was pretty messed up. After She-Hulk discovers that her cousin Bruce was essentially banished from the planet Earth by members of the Illuminati, she vows to find him and exact revenge on his behalf. Stark gets wind of this and decides the best course of action is to just neutralize She-Hulk using spin tech. the same tech he used to depower supers opposing the Registration Act in the events of Civil War I. SPIN stands for Super Power Inhibiting Nanobots. After using the nanotech to depower her, Jennifer mourns the loss of her powers, but she does not stand down. She plans on suing Stark for what he has done, and actually says that this is a bigger threat to him than if she were just beating him up as She-Hulk. Though in the midst of pursuing this trial, she actually gets pulled into another trial where she is forced to confess that she's actually addicted to her She-Hulk form. I wonder if Disney Plus's She-Hulk show will be like superhero Law and Order, just She-Hulk going from trial to trial. Number 1. She ate Franklin and Valeria Richards. You know where we're going for this point. Yeah, we're going to the Marvel Zombieverse. Where else could something so horrendous happen? The She-Hulk of Earth 2149 was infected by the Avengers after responding to an Avengers Assemble call. She was transformed into a zombie and later used her knowledge of the Baxter building codes to get in and devour Reed and Sue Richards' children, Franklin and Valeria. Their parents thought that they would be safe there, but I guess they forgot that some other former team members still held the codes to the building. She-Hulk got hers though. Sue Richards used her powers to blow Zombie Jen's head off. Yikes. The Zombieverse is so messed up. It's also a universe where, after his children are murdered, Reed later infects the rest of the Fantastic Four with the zombie virus willingly, after coming to the conclusion that zombies are actually the superior race and the next step in evolution. Ugh. Thank you so much for watching Nerd Squad. I hope you enjoyed this list and found at least our number 1 scary. I personally feel that everything in the Zombieverse is actually terrifying. Remember that time Ant-Man kept Black Panther alive so he could like slowly dismember and devour him? Ugh. I will personally never forget that. Keeps me up at night. Was there a fact that you find super terrifying involving She-Hulk that we have yet to include in part 1, 2, 3, or 4 of this list? Let us know in the comments below. And let me know what you think is the most frightening story or event in the Marvel-verse. I'll meet you down there. But before you scroll on, I encourage you to like, sub, and ring our bell on your way down there, so you never miss out on any of our nerd content. And feel free to give this list a share to any and all other She-Hulk fans, or to those who could do with some educating. This has been Top 10 Nerd, and I'm your host, Amanda McKnight, reminding you to stay nerdy, YouTube.